Welcome back to another episode of Financial Minds Meet the Experts. I'm Jaime Agostino, your host. On this show, we're joined by financial industry experts to talk about topics, trends, and themes that credit union professionals need to know about. Today on Financial Minds Meet the Experts, we're talking about financial wellness. Our guest today is Lori Timm with Allegacy Federal Credit Union. Lori, thank you so much for joining me. Would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself with our listeners?
Certainly. Thank you so much, Jaime, for having me on the podcast. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Well, my background is really in corporate training and coaching, and I worked as an intercultural trainer and consultant for many years living abroad. I lived in such diverse countries as Finland, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and then Venezuela. And I've been with Allegacy for about 10 years, and I've worked in many different areas. I headed up our Allegacy in Espanol, Hispanic marketing initiative. I've also worked in retail operations. I've worked for Accuso, which was a consulting group that did leadership training, coaching, and HR consulting. And then more recently, I've been engaged in an area I absolutely love, which is financial education and community development. And I really enjoy the work I do and the ability to change lives.
Wow. I didn't realize you'd been to so many places. That's just amazing. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm really looking forward to this topic. And, at Allegacy, you utilize the term financial well-being. Can you please explain the approach and share your credit union's journey to promote the holistic well-being, both internally and externally?
Yes, certainly. I love to tell the Allegacy story because it just brings together so many elements. And this idea of well-being is a part of our DNA. We kind of need to step back a little bit. When I was growing up, I had always heard the term financial literacy. And, we have this financial literacy month that we celebrate every April. And that term literacy almost kind of conveys that there's a literate group and there's an illiterate group. And I think when you think about your well-being, and let's just use the physical side, because that's the one that we all kind of know intimately, we know what we should be doing. We know we need to eat better, we need to exercise more, we need to sleep more and reduce our stress. I think on the financial side, we kind of know what we should be doing. We should spend less, we should save more, we need to make wise decisions. And so some of these ideas are not something that, we can't understand. And so we can't approach it that people are ignorant or they need to be educated. It's more of really saying, we want you to be a whole, well, healthy person. And that includes many different aspects of wellness. So a lot of this idea and concept goes back to 2009 when Allegacy decided to launch a wellness initiative for our employees. And in the beginning, it focused on our physical health and well-being. But then once we started the journey, we realized that, and we actually call the program the All Health, all from Allegacy, and Health Wellness Program. And we realized that wow, sometimes we may focus on the physical, but all the other pieces come with it. So our program is based on what we call pillars of wellness, and we have 5 of them. So the physical, the emotional, the social, the financial, of course, and then a sense of purpose. And I'll give you an example. So we very early got engaged, like many credit unions do, in the Heart Walk, the Walk to End Alzheimer's, all of these events that on the surface appear to be a physical activity to improve your physical health. But we found that there were some employees who would join in the walk because they really identified with the cause. So it fulfilled their sense of purpose. And for others, they just loved to be at the place where there were lots of people. It filled their social tank, so to speak. And so we realized that there's an intersection with every element of wellness, and taking a holistic approach made a lot of sense to us. We had a lot of success with our wellness program, and still today, it's evolved over time. And I love being a part of the financial wellness piece. We've even included this as a part of our organizational culture and branding. It may be hard to see back here, but I have our brand promise here on a banner. It's a great reminder that we will do the right thing for your well-being. And when we talk about well-being, we're talking about it in every sense of the word. We also use on our website, we have a great tagline that is well-being of mind, body, and wallet. So I think that this approach is really a good one for us. It's a great fit. And we like to also take this out to our members and help them with their well-being.
Wow, that it sounds amazing. So great job. What specific products would you point to as examples of Allegacy's commitment to this action?
Yes, there's one in particular that I really want to talk about. It's called the All Health Wellness Account. So again, we took that All Health name from our internal program and said, let's push this out. Let's really promote this idea of well-being, but in a very tangible way, because we all, talk the talk, but we don't always walk the walk. And so this was a partnership that we formed in 2016 with the YMCA of Northwest North Carolina. So here in the Winston-Salem area. We have similar models. They are a membership organization, and so is our credit union. They embrace all aspects of holistic wellness. If you think of a Y, you go there for physical activity. Many people go there for that social connection. They have childcare, they have classes for kids and sports camps. And so this was a type of organization that really aligned with us at the values level and with a shared mission. And so we created an account, a savings account, that actually paid a higher tiered rate based on the number of visits you made to the Y. So essentially what we were doing was incentivizing doing those healthy behaviors that many people were already doing, and to know that they could earn a very high level of or high rate of interest on their savings made it an added bonus. And so our partnership really looks like we get a report from them, and then we're able to assign the interest rate based on that. The highest rate is 1.05%, which is unheard of in the market, especially in these past couple of years. So that's one example. I'll share two more that are a little bit less involved, but the one is, we call it Allegacy Health Link. This is a supplemental insurance program that our benefits group, CUSO, has promoted to our membership. The idea is that individuals sometimes have insurance, but accidents happen. And having that supplemental coverage, whether it's accidents, critical illness, or cancer. And we've actually added dental and vision coverage as well. This promotes your physical well-being because, as I said, we know accidents happen and sometimes we can't prevent every medical emergency, but knowing that you've got the financial peace of mind in this plan is a really good one for our members. And then a third initiative that we've launched, it's not really a new product, but it's really putting that product in the hands of young adults who are going to need it. This is our secured credit card product. We have 9 student-run credit unions that we operate. Actually, the students operate it in 9 high schools in our community. And so those students are eager to learn about financial well-being for themselves. Like, how do I open up an account? And how do I manage that account? And how do I build credit? How do I budget? These are questions that we're answering every day in the schools that we serve. And then we have university partners here locally, Wake Forest University and the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, where we provide workshops where they're on campus meeting with students and talking one-on-one with them about how they can really achieve independence after they leave their schooling and go into the world. And that secured credit card can really help them build credit, not get into that debt that they see their parents sometimes falling into, and be more responsible in the future and hopefully living their best lives.
Wow. That's wonderful. Tell me about how your credit union is building these community partnerships so that you can have a greater impact than your efforts alone.
Yes, and isn't that the great thing about credit unions? We tend to have that built into our DNA is this idea of collaboration. And we find it so easy to approach one another. We work, like I mentioned, with the YMCA because we have that shared mission. In our community, there are like-minded people that come together to, sponsor events, be at events, be on boards, and really serve. I think that's kind of what it boils down to is this servant spirit that we have. And we have another partnership that I'd really love to talk about, actually two more. One is with Second Harvest Food Bank in our local community. It's a very large agency that serves many counties and many community partners. So partnering with them is a way for us to even extend the impact that we can have. We are a sponsor of many of their events and helping them, keep the food going and meeting the needs of the community. But also we volunteer. We have a community involvement committee at Allegacy, and we regularly go into the food bank and we are, moving cans and checking eggs and doing a lot of activities to help keep the food moving. We also support the employees that work at Second Harvest. They are one of our select employee groups. So we offer all of our financial education resources, tools, our challenges, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And also we provide that concierge level of service for their financial needs. And then finally, I'm real excited about a potential partnership with them to support their workforce development program. They actually have a program here locally where individuals can train in the culinary arts and learn skills so that they can leave the program and go out and get jobs in food service, but not necessarily food service, but cooking and fine dining and restaurants. And so this is life-changing. And I'm excited that we'll be able to provide some financial education as a part of that program. I want to mention one other partnership because this one's really near and dear to our heart. We have at Allegacy in our history, we've had a lot of loss due to cancer. We had several employees that we lost in pretty quick succession. And we decided back in, I believe it was 1999, to hold a golf tournament. We call it the Don't Wait Golf Tournament. And this is an opportunity for us to really highlight the importance of early detection and prevention. And so we, to date, have raised $1.4 million for Cancer Services, which is a local organization dedicated to supporting those in their cancer journey. We also partnered this past year with the Survivorship Clinic to provide some support for those facing financial toxicity, which is something that, if you've ever been through a cancer diagnosis, the medical debt can pile on pretty quickly. So we actually worked on a workshop series in partnership with the local medical center to talk about how to get ahead of any financial bills, medical bills before they become a problem. And that was a great partnership that really fit nicely in with our dedication to cancer.
Wow. These are wonderful initiatives. And just hearing it, I'm so proud of everything that you're doing. And, it's so nice and refreshing to hear. And there's a lot of credit unions out there doing so many great things. I know at Viso Financial, we're also partnered with some initiatives. We work with our local food bank and some others. So it's great to see credit unions as a whole just give back, and these are just wonderful things that you are doing. So thank you for sharing that. So you strike me as someone who has a lot of ideas. So how do you move your ideas into action to improve financial well-being for your members?
Yes, and that's really the key. I said that my background was in training and coaching, and I think sometimes we as credit unions have fallen into this pattern of we'll just put something on our website and we'll do a little workshop and then we can check that box. Yeah, we're doing financial well-being. We've done all that. But those types of opportunities are very passive. It puts the onus on the member to actually go figure out where on your website this information lives, and to say, oh yeah, I need to sign up. And life gets busy, life gets in the way. And so sometimes you may have really good intentions, but actually getting there is the hard part. So we continue to do that. I mean, we have workshops, we have digital tools, we are constantly sharing resources with folks, but we know that that's a starting point. That's not the end. And so I use this expression, moving ideas into action, quite a bit in my training. And I tell people, I'm leaving you with lots of next steps. And I think that's what people need. We need to get started. And sometimes that's the hardest part. And then once you get started, it's hard to kind of keep going. So I always like to use action plans, really challenging people to take those baby steps. I love to use the analogy, if you've ever seen the movie The Martian with Matt Damon, he gets left behind on Mars. Now his problem is huge, and you're probably thinking, wow, how would you even deal with that? I would probably just curl up and cry and try to figure it out tomorrow. But he solves problems just one after another. And he eventually gets so far that when he turns around to look at how far he's come, he realizes, wow, I did a lot. And each little step was quite small. So that's the approach I really take with my members. And I encourage people to join me in a conversation. We call it one-on-one financial coaching, where they can bring any question or issue or challenge with them to that meeting. It takes a lot of courage to realize that, oh, I have a problem, I need some help, or I have a question and I don't know the answer. And so I approach those one-on-one meetings with a lot of humility, but also empathy, and really encouraging them to, tell me what your goals are and let me walk with you through that process. And ours is a real true coaching relationship. So our members drive the process. So if they decide they don't want to meet again, then the door's always open for them to come back. I like to be an accountability partner. So one of the things I like to do is in those sessions, at the end of our meeting, I always say 2 questions for you. Do you want to meet again? And if they say yes, I say, great. When do you want to meet? Because sometimes you got to get it on the calendar to make it real. And then I'll say, give me 3 steps that you're going to take between now and then, that when we meet again, you'll be able to tell me, I did this and this and this, and this is how it went. And it's amazing that people don't have a hard time coming up with their next step. And sometimes it's picking up the phone and calling someone. It may be pulling their credit report and looking at it. It may be having a tough conversation with a family member that they need to have. And so I see that as my role is sometimes holding up the mirror, kind of saying, this is what I hear you saying, and speaking back to them. Another thing that we do beyond the coaching is, excuse me, we like to do challenges. And in the wellness space, you've probably heard of all these types of challenges. You've got your walking challenge, your sleep challenge, the hydration challenge. Well, I said there don't seem to be a lot of financial challenges because people feel like they might not want to share their finances with someone, let's say in HR or whoever's planning the challenge. Well, we decided to create some challenges that would allow people first to save money, and you challenge yourself that you're going to make a commitment to yourself. And I looked at the calendar, this was in 2020, and I realized that between Labor Day and Black Friday, there are exactly 12 weeks. It's a little scary to think about. And I said, wouldn't it be great if you could save $1,000, which is the average amount that a family spends in the holiday season? Wouldn't it be great if you could save that and then go into that holiday season with $1,000 in your account? That would be so incredible. So we designed a challenge where individuals could go and sign up, and you could be a member or not be a member to participate. And we provided the tools and the resources you need. And we also provided a weekly nudge email to give you ideas of what you could do next, kind of like The Martian, how to keep problem solving all the way through. And this has been wildly successful. We've done it now 3 times, the Savings Challenge, and we launched a Debt Freedom Challenge last year around the 4th of July because we thought, let's declare our independence from debt and the weight of debt that we feel. And it kind of worked in the same way, giving people tools to quantify their debt and then the encouragement to take steps to reduce their debt. This was an 8-week challenge, and we know that in 8 weeks, it's very challenging. It's hard to get out of debt and probably unrealistic, but bringing some mindfulness and really providing that support for our members and non-members, that this was just what they needed to kind of kickstart that financial well-being.
Wow. You're amazing me with all these wonderful things, and I love that you call them your little nudge emails. So,
yes.
And I'm sure you're there celebrating their little successes as they're going step by step, and because that's also probably an important part of the process.
Yes.
So what recommendations would you have for other credit unions who are beginning to create a dynamic financial well-being program at their credit union?
Yeah, I would say that the first thing would be to create some buy-in and support from your senior leadership. As credit unions, we are always trying to balance that margin and mission. And my role is very much on the mission side. So I'm the big cheerleader for mission all the way. But we do have to watch the bottom line. We do have to, take care of the trust that our members have put in us. And so watching the margin is also important. And so if you are looking to do more in the financial well-being space, you may be working with members that aren't profitable, quite frankly, and looking beyond where they are today and saying, if we invest in our members and really give them the tools and the support they need to improve their financial well-being, that will pay dividends in loyalty, in that, you've got to bank at Allegacy because they're amazing. They've helped me. And also their ability to improve their financial situation. They're going to come and get loans from you. They're going to put their deposits with you. They're going to be a lifelong member. And so I always think of the quote that Maya Angelou is famous for, and she happens to be from Winston-Salem and taught at Wake Forest University. So we have a strong connection to her as well. She said that people would forget what you said or did, but they would never forget how you made them feel. And I think that that's really our approach. And I would suggest you take that approach as well in reaching your members. Secondly, I think embedding financial well-being in every aspect of your organizational culture, your strategic plan, and just keeping that in the mix so that it's something that everyone can talk about and really articulate in a very real way. And that probably means you need to start with your employees. We've had this well-being program, and it's much more than a program now. Our All Health Wellness is actually more of it's an entity of its own. And we decided last year that we needed to take the pulse of our employees and determine where they were with their financial well-being. And so we partnered with the Financial Health Network and used their wonderful Fin Health survey. It's an 8-question assessment. It's a self-assessment. And our employees were able to answer those questions and get a pulse of where they were back in November of last year. We learned a lot of surprising things. One is that our employees have very high credit scores, which was great. They also, about, I think 94% of our employees reported that they pay all their bills on time, every time. And so that's very encouraging. That's something that they can share with members and help members. But the surprise was also that in the area of savings, our employees do not feel prepared for liquid savings, meaning emergencies, and long-term savings, planning for retirement. So we decided to take this year of 2022 and really focus on that area of saving. And so I think starting with your employees, investing in them, and really trying to help them on their financial well-being journey will help them then, from a first-person experience, push out that learning to your members.
This has been a wonderful conversation. Any final thoughts for our listeners today?
Well, I would just say that I think we're very privileged to work for credit unions, to be a part of the movement, as we say in credit union world. We have this amazing ability to collaborate with one another. It's something I've never seen in any of the industries I've worked in. And I would say that anyone who isn't aware of this or isn't taking advantage of it, start to look to those that are at other credit unions who are doing some of the things that you're interested in. I know that my counterparts across the country, we gather and meet every other month. And actually, there were several groups that had kind of been meeting independently, and now we're this big group. I think our last call, we had about 35 people on the call. And it's so great to hear what others are doing, sharing of resources and ideas. And I think it's just to the betterment of our membership and our movement. So embrace the collaboration.
All right. Thank you again for joining me today. And congratulations on everything that you are accomplishing there. And, we use the statement, you are a difference maker. So thank you so much for doing that. And as a reminder to everyone listening, Viso Financial's biggest financial event of the year is coming up here, September 14th through the 16th, 2022. And this year, we're in person at the lovely Ballantine Hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina. From great conversations with your credit union peers to the latest financial education, complete with CPE credits, which I know you all need. The event is sure to please. Registration is open a few more days, so visit www.vfccu.org for more information. Thanks for listening, and make it a great day.